My hair is a mess. I apologize. Today we are doing a book tag video. Well, I got tagged by Heather's Heroes and Heroines here on YouTube. I'll leave her channel down below if you guys like to check her out. And I'd like to thank her for tagging me for this. This tag is called the Bring Browsing Back tag. And there's only 3 questions on here, so I'll just get on to it. So, share a book you found while browsing that you may not have discovered otherwise. So, in the beginning of my book journey, I primarily would browse books because I didn't have TikTok or any like book associated social media. So I always would just find books from browsing or because my friend recommended it to me or whatever it may be. And so for an honorable mention, I don't really like this series anymore, but I do feel like I should mention it since it's pretty much the series that got me back into reading, and that is the Red Queen series. I know this got popular on Book Talk, but like I said, I didn't have TikTok for a while, and definitely not at this point. When I read it, if it wasn't for this series, I probably wouldn't have this channel. I wouldn't be as much of a reader as I am now, because this is really what got me back into reading, is having to read a whole series. And the Red Queen series is, there's kind of a love triangle in it. This world, there are people that are basically divided in society by if they have red blood or silver blood, and the people that have silver blood usually have like a superpower or whatever, and there's a monarchy in this and things like that. And then we find out that our main girl, she bleeds red, but she has a superpower that a silver blood would have, and so you're just going through her life dealing with that, and there's a love triangle with brothers and all this stuff. And so it really got me hooked, and the fact that it was a series really got me into reading again. And so I just wanted to do that as an honorable mention. I wouldn't really recommend the series anymore now that I've read more books, but at the time I really did enjoy it. So that one's a YA fantasy. So I have 2 books that I would actually recommend that I browsed. I literally found this one at HEB. Hello. This is Where It Ends. I think this was also popular on Book Talk at some point, but I found it at HEB. I didn't know it was that popular. This is basically following a couple of students and their perspective during a school shooting. So it's kind of a heavy topic. It's a very fast read, and it was a good book, okay? And then this one I was browsing on the Book of the Month app. So this was like an online browsing, and it is Song of the Crimson Flower. This is one of my favorite books, one of my favorite fantasy romance type of books. It's kind of a loose retelling of Beauty and the Beast. Instead of the guy being cursed as a beast, his soul gets trapped in a flute type of scenario, and they were childhood friends also. And it's just so, it's so adorable. I love it so much. I love the love confession so much, and it's the girl's love confession that I love so much, because I feel like I haven't seen or read many books with a girl's love confession being so like beautiful. So I really do love this book, and so I would highly recommend this. And I wouldn't have found it if I wasn't browsing the Book of the Month website. The second prompt is share a book that has made you view things from a different perspective or exposed you to new ideas. So I have 2, and so one of them would definitely be Hana Khan Carries On. So this one I went in thinking it was just like a Muslim romance book, and because I didn't read the back of the book. If you read the back of the book, you would know this, but it actually deals with a lot of Islamophobia and hate crimes that happen with Muslims, and this book is based in Canada. And so I am pretty ignorant to Islamophobia that is outside of America, because I knew it existed in America because of, and it like really like went hard after 9/11, and so I knew things like that, but I wasn't aware that it was so prevalent today and such an issue in other parts of the world, and even parts of the world where there is it's predominantly Muslim, there's still Islamophobia. Definitely wasn't expecting to basically be educated in that aspect when reading this book, but I do highly recommend it. This book just being based in Canada kind of opened my eyes, because I feel like with Canada, I just don't be thinking about her, to be honest with you. Like, I forget that Canada like has their own issues, you know? And so to read a book that's based in Canada and them still having their own like racism and their own issues and their own hate crimes that they have to go through, it was like, oh, so it's not just the US. Because I feel like when you live in the US and you're a part of social media and something terrible happens in the US, like shootings and stuff like that, you start to feel like the US is probably one of the worst like first world countries ever, and they're the only ones that deal with these things as a first world country, and they're the most racist country ever, and blah blah blah, which could and could not be true. You know, we could argue that back and forth a lot, but it makes you like remember, like, no, there's still racism in other countries, you know? Like, it's not going anywhere, sadly. There are literally every place in the world deals with racism, and so that's very sad, but it is a reality that I needed to be reminded of, basically. And then another one is definitely It Ends With Us by Colleen Hoover. You guys know, one of the things I enjoyed about this book the most is really getting to understand and know how victims that deal with the things that are talked about in this book are, how it's so hard for them to leave the situation. Because before reading this book, I always thought it was like, why don't you just leave? Like, just leave, you know, type of scenario. And I only thought it was like financial issues that would make a victim of the things in this book stay. But actually it is so much harder than that, you know. And if it wasn't for this book and like really being in the character's shoes, or feeling like I was in the character's shoes, to truly understand how much strength it truly takes to leave a situation like this. And so I will always appreciate this book for that. What Colleen was trying to do with this book really did it for me. You know, it might not have done it for some people, but it really did work for me, and I will always be appreciative of this book for that reason. And then the last prompt is share a book that has changed who you are as a person or altered your day-to-day habits. So this one was kind of difficult to think about since I mainly read like romance or fantasy. I was like, girl, what do I be reading that has like actual benefits to my life? I don't know. So you guys may make fun of me for what I picked, but it's okay. I'm making fun of myself too. It's fine. So it's actually a book I had to read for class, and it's Abandon the Ordinary, Building a Distinctive Leadership Brand in Business, Family, and Church by Richard S. Lytle. And so this is just kind of going through what it's like to build a sustaining leadership brand, whether that's in your family, your church, or in a business, and not being ordinary with it, but really diving deep into what it is you're trying to accomplish in whatever capacity you need to accomplish it in. And so yeah, it sounds so like, oh, Atomic Habits type of scenario, but it's really the only book that I've read in a hot minute that like really has made me like be like, okay, I need to like really get on that. Something else I would probably mention is definitely C.S. Lewis books. I love The Four Loves. That book, I need to reread it because it's a good one. I love C.S. Lewis also, so he would definitely be a part of that. So yeah, so those are the questions, and then after that there is browse a bookstore, library, or a friend's shelf. So I've shown you guys the library so many times on my channel, so we're not gonna do that. I'm too lazy right now to go to an actual bookstore, so I will just show you my shelves. They're not that well, it's not that well done, especially since I'm moving soon, but I do plan on doing like a bookshelf tour when I get it together after I move. So let me show you. She's kind of a mess. As you can see, I also use it as my nightstand. But so let's get into it. So the first row, I have medicine. In the middle, I have my TV remotes and everything. But there's Song of a Crimson Flower, Legendborn. I am waiting till the third book comes out to finally start this series. I can't wait. Everyone just loves it and talks about it so much, and I can't wait to finally get on the bandwagon. Then there's The Shadow Between Us, Four Dead Queens, This Is Where It Ends, and then I have the 150th anniversary edition of Little Women, and then I have The Great Gatsby up there, and then I have The Forbidden Wish, Daisy Jones and the Six, Pack Up the Moon, King of Battle and Blood, and then the Percy Jackson series, and then there's my Colleen Hoover books, and then at the bottom I have The Love Hypothesis, Love on the Brain, Book Lovers, People We Meet on Vacation, Archer's Voice. Haven't read that yet, but I do plan on it, and let me know down below if you want a vlog of that. And then I have The Hookup Plan. I can't wait to read this one because it's a black romance, and they successful in that one, sister. And then I have my Tessa Bailey books, my other C.S. Lewis books, the Bridgerton book I love the most so far, which is season 2, Anthony's book, The Viscount Who Loved Me, or the how do you say that again? The Viscount, whatever. I have Verity, there's 3 in the ACOTAR series for Sarah J. Maas, and then there's my Polaroid camera, and then this is also my book light, and then this is Josh. Oh no. But anyways, yep, that is my bookshelf. It's very not that pretty. But yeah, guys, that's it for this video pretty much. I will try to tag some people down below because that's the 5th and final prompt, is to tag some people. I'd like to thank Heather again for tagging me in this. It was very fun and kind of challenging, since I was like, what do I read that be changing my life? Like, for real. Like, my habits. Ugh, don't know if there is one. But yeah, so it was very fun to do, and I highly enjoyed it. And definitely check out her channel down below. And I will also tag the original creator of this and some of my book babes that I follow down below as well. That's gonna be it for today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Like and subscribe. Happy Vlogmas, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.